Hey, Patrick here. I'm going to review a game that I played against a Maxx. I think that I'm pretty significantly favored as the Azalea into this matchup. It feels like my disruption's really impactful, and it just kind of chokes them out of the game. Even when they play the big blockout strategy and just have a bunch of 3 blocks, I feel like I just push over that, and they just can't hop in the mech suit quick enough. So looking at the equipment I'm bringing in, it's just the standard loadout. The crow's nest isn't there because I'm just cutting it from the list at the moment to get that 80th slot back. So the bullseye, snaps, and crossbone, and death dealer and Fandel spring tunic are all great at just going quick and being hyper consistent. So I'm bringing those guys in. Going down to the cards in deck though, I need to bring in 10. So I'm bringing in 1 fatigue shot. This is just like the 10th card I'm bringing in. It's just kind of a whatever card. It's somewhat effective. Bringing in 3 infecting shot though, and this is just a 1 for 7 that's good in the matchup. Also bringing in Ren the Ledger, because this makes it so that they can't hero power, because they need to boost and then activate hero power, so it's really good there. As well, if they come up with like the boost aggro plan, this just counters that. And then similarly, bringing in 3 Sleep Dart, this just turns off hero power, and it stops them from getting in the mech, and that's a big deal. So let's hop over to the game now. Here we are in game. My opponent wins the die roll and chooses to go first. That's correct. I would go first given the opportunity. I just want to deny them going first, because they're going to do exactly what you're about to see, which is going to be boost and then hero power to get a hyperdriver with 2 counters and not be pressured, and they also get to go into a turn with an arsenal. So them going first just makes it makes it a little bit easier for them to find the mech sooner, right? Not to find it, but to have the hyperdrivers to get in it. On my side though, I have a Red in the Ledger and Sleep Dart. Red Ledger is better than Sleep Dart in this matchup, so pitch away Sleep Dart, see what I draw, Red Ledger. And here, I think I just want to go for 11. I could come in for 8, but I want to have the possibility of catching them on like a no block, because I know they run hyperdrivers. But you can see there they had a 2 block, so it almost leaked through it, or it almost forced them to put one of their armor in front of it. But I need to get through their armor at some point, so here we go. They just pass back, right? And then I'm just free to do what I want to do. And looks good. Get some on hits. I was able to opt into one, right? So I can draw it and then come for 14. And they feel like they can play this hand out. So I'm expecting a big turn from them. Coming for 4 with the boom grenade on board, cranked from Arsenal. I don't think I care. This is just damage, and I have a pretty good turn. Like, no matter which way it plays out, I have a pretty good turn. But, I mean, you can see that they're having a crazy turn here, right? Red 0 to 60, and then follow up with 2 red zipper hits. So far, they haven't pitched any cards. Okay, that's the first card they pitched, was a 3rd red zipper hit. So they had 3 red zipper hits that hand. Pretty crazy. But that was a, 18 damage turn. And I'm fine with that. I was really smart to block out with the Red in the Ledger, or hold the Red in the Ledger to block out with on the Banksy, just so I basically, the way the tempo of this game's going, I've almost guaranteed that they're not going to get in the mech, because they won't be able to, depending what they draw, but like they don't have enough like life buffer at this point. So I have a good play here, right? Showing the power of Tunic. Well, power of Codex and Tunic. Both really good cards, right? So I get back the Red in the Ledger. It's going to be coming in for 11, and I'm going to have a Ponder. I might get 2 Ponders if the Red in the Ledger connects and the Premed makes a second Ponder. So I'm going to next turn at least with an Arsenal, which is great. And I might get a little bit of control over what I want to Arsenal. On their side, though, they put in the Pulse Wave. I have a free opt because I haven't Skullbone this turn, and Codex puts a card in face down. And I find another Red in the Ledger. So I could leave that on top to shoot it next turn, but honestly, I think this is good enough. I think coming in with a Dominator Red in the Ledger here is just really good. Whereas I give them chance to like set up a little bit more, if I don't. So there's no way they block it. It just kind of like deadens their turn, doesn't give them a chance to make another hyperdriver. I know they have a pulse wave and arsenal, so like I think this just, yeah, correct. Correct decision by me. Otherwise, I think they would have been able to present a little bit more pressure. So good choice by me. I'm just checking my grave, right, to see if there's something I want to Codex back here. And it looks like there is. I get a really nice line here. I'm gonna be able to use my Codex here, and with the read the glide path and arsenal, it gives me a double opt, right? I get to go skullbone and then opt. I'm just looking for a pump. And yeah, Rain Razors is a great pump here because I'm going too wide. So this is effectively a 4 pump, and it'll be presenting breakpoints on two different links. So coming at 8 here, I should Rain Razors in reaction, and then Snapdragons to give it go again. Yep, looking good. Really strong turn for me, just showing the power of Rain Razors and Snapdragons in this deck. And I'm considering between Red in the Ledger and Infecting Shot, but I don't think they're going to get in the mech this game. So just coming in for more damage is correct here. Yeah, they didn't even have, okay, they played out a red hyperdriver, pitching a red hyperdriver. Wow, okay. So that's, I think, all of their red hyperdrivers accounted for. On my side, though, put that card on the bottom. I'm just looking for, yeah, I was gonna say I'm just looking for a pump here or something, some kind of action. And red bolt and shot is crazy because I get to go 7 dominate and then don't reload, and then bullseye, loading in the bolt and shot, and then I get to shoot either the drill shot or the MS arrow. So that's the only real choice here, is which one do I want to shoot. And I think I like shooting the drill shot here, and then arsenaling the endless arrow. I think, because even though they don't have any armor, I want to just maximize the number of pumps I'm going to get for next turn. So guaranteeing that I have an arrow. Okay, I like this line. I did a good job of this. So my thought here with shooting the drill shot, even though it doesn't do anything, is I already have the arrow for next turn. I'm just looking for a bunch of pumps. I'm looking to just carry momentum. The game's pretty much locked, so like I just need to do 2 damage, right? Like, yeah. There, they only boosted once, so they can't actually like strip a card from my hand with the pulse wave. And here they're coming with Banksy, and I don't think I care. Yeah, I don't have a reason to care about this. I just have like deterministic lethal, right? I just like double pump, put the Codex of Bloodrot, shoot him with a dominated arrow. There's nothing they can do, right? Pump, yeah. They don't have any outs here. Even if they had like an unmovable, like if they had a red, if they had a red unmovable, and like, yeah, a blue, like 2 blues, that's how they get out of this. But I'm not playing around that. Yeah. So 10 dominate, that should be game. And yeah, GG's. Here we are in the post game, and that game went how I expected it to. That's a pretty accurate representation of how every Maxx game I've played has gone. So the big issues for them are you're quicker than them as Azalea. You have better on hits as Azalea, and your on hits actively disrupt their only real out into the matchup. So the fact that Maxx can't run any meaningful on hits into you is a big deal. The worst thing they can do is T-bone you and take your tunic or your skullbone, but you have a pretty good insulation against that with bracers and snapdragons both having 0 block value. So I don't think it's like it's a valid plan for them. As well, their on hits don't matter. Like past that, there's Pulse Wave, but you saw there that I could play around it, and you just already naturally play around it by having Red in the Ledger in your deck. And even if you do get like they can blow you out if you have if they have a timely Pulse Wave and they yoink your only arrow. But even then, I don't think it really matters too much. Like it would have to be an absolute blowout. So I'm not worried about that. I will shout out my opponent in playing that very well. I didn't see any mistakes from them. I think that they did a really good job in understanding what they had to do in the matchup. So I like that they went first. I like that they made a hyperdriver and then just passed. I like that they the turn two. I like that they just fully blocked that out. I thought that was smart. I like that they didn't block the following turn and then they just bet on that turn because it was like they had I think a red boom grenade in arsenal and then just went for it with the other four cards. I think that was like the only reason that I was so low was because they were smart enough to do that, or they understood the matchup well enough to go for that. But I had about average variance, I'd say. I averaged to slightly above variance, but I think I kind of set myself up for that. And it's notably easy to set yourself up for success in matchups like this where they don't disrupt you and they're not going fast enough. Like they don't apply pressure to you, basically. It's really easy for Azalea to just find efficient use of her arsenal and leveraging all of her equipment and her hero ability. Um, I want to say that I think I played, it's tough to say that I played perfect, but I think I played very well. There weren't any glaring mistakes that I caught, even watching that back. So I think that's a practice paying off kind of thing. Yeah, it's good watching back and seeing that I'm improving. I didn't catch anything horrible there. I played towards good variance. I might have like made a small strategic choice at one point or another, but it looked really tight the way that I played the whole game out there. And I like watching that back in review and being able to say, thumbs up to myself.